And it is time once again to get solar powered. We welcome you to the Solar Powered Podcast. My name is Ryan Hall. Thank you so much for joining us here today, where we celebrate the world changing magic of ordinary people sharing extraordinary stories. And I think we've got an extraordinary story here today. She's the CEO, founder of Mindset to Results, a world renowned public speaker, and he's got a really powerful story. Her name is Elena Apalkova. She's a dear friend of mine, and let's talk a little bit about how let's talk a little bit about that transformation, and let's go to the UK right now and speak to my dear friend Elena Apalkova. Welcome to the Solar Powered Podcast, my dear.
Hi, Ryan. Glad to be here.
Hi, pleasure is all mine, and let's just dig right in. We met, when we met, you were soon to kind of like you had soon, like recently removed yourself from a pretty, from a pretty dangerous situation as you're a native of Ukraine. So kind of tell me a little bit about your personal story and who is Elena Palkova?
Yes, so my personal story is long. So if we speak about what you just mentioned, that we moved to UK in 2022 after the war in Ukraine started. Yeah, so it was kind of forced this time when I had to travel, not just for travel, but really to save myself and my family from that situation, because one day we woke up at 5 a.m. from the sound of the heavy planes just flying around, like above our house. And I found out that just in 2 kilometers distance from our house, the airport was bombed. And this is how the war started. And this is what made me to see myself in a very difficult situation to make decision, because we had to make decision fast, and I had to decide not only for me but also for my family what our future will look like and where we will live. And I made the decision, and we moved to Austria first and then to UK.
Gotcha. And just really having to start over from scratch, but you're not really starting over from scratch. You already had an established voice, an established name in the coaching community, in the speaking community. And yeah, how did you sort of fall into the coaching community? Because you've studied some pretty powerful people out there.
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked. Really, what I knew helped me to make decision fast. Yes, and this is one of the principles of success. When we read the book Think and Grow Rich, study work of Napoleon Hill, and also Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, who was my mentor. So there are principles which really help us to make the best decision in every situation. And I'm so glad that I had this knowledge. I already was working with Bob Proctor. He was my mentor, and I already was learning all these powerful principles and the laws of the universe, and how we can make fast decisions, how we can not become victims of our circumstances, but be always empowered by our own vision and our thoughts. And remember that in every situation, whatever it be, whatever negative it can be, we still have choice. And the choice is what we think about. And there is also one law that helped me to understand very well and make decision. And the law is the law of the opposites. So it is the exact equivalent of good in everything what is negative. So everything what happens, whatever bad it is, if we shift our focus and start looking what can be good, Yes, it is not about situation that happened in Ukraine because nothing can be good in the war. Yes, but when we look focus in that situation, what I can do, what decisions I can make, what can be my next step that I will create good outcome. Yes, like good way from this situation. This is what depend on me because we cannot depend like we cannot influence political yes leaders who start the war or all this so many factors with beyond our reach, but we can always make decision for ourselves. And if we make this decision from the place of understanding the laws and implementing them, we can never be wrong. We always will be right. And the knowing of these principles helped me not to panic, not to be scared. Yeah, because there were a lot of reasons to be scared. And to have this habit to step into unknown. That also is very important because we know that every situation, every challenge, when we embrace it, it means that we have the right attitude. We can turn the challenge into stepping stone for our growth. Yes, because the growth also needs the change. Growth always comes with the change. So when we embrace these challenges as a change, and we can see and look at this situation, what we can do to grow, what we can do to be even in different place where we can see ourselves in the future.
Yeah, there's always like one one thing that has always struck me about you is despite your circumstances, despite the fact that you had to leave a war-torn area of the world, just despite your circumstances, there's always like you always make powerful choices, whether or not to leave your home, uproot your family, or to, or to keep growing and keep thriving when lesser people might have just rolled over on their back and just showed the world their belly. You've always kind of struck me as somebody with a lot of resilience. Can you maybe talk a little bit about a little towards that?
Yes, I think that resilience is one of my features because I had a lot of challenges in my life. Yes, a lot of challenges. And I think that when we have this ability to see something that for other people is invisible, but we can in challenges we can think bigger than our current situation. And I had that qualities even before I met Bob Proctor and started learning these fundamental principles. I think this was my feature that every time when I had challenges, I always wanted to face them. I, I didn't let the challenges to break me down. I I was decisive and I always made decision outside of my comfort zone. It meant that I was open to risk. I didn't want the situation, these circumstances to decide what I can do or what I cannot do. I always wanted to make decision from the place where I want to be. And it was not easy, but every time I did that, I found myself in the better place. And in time, I created that habit. I created that resistance. I knew that if I make right decisions, if I don't allow fears and doubts dictate what I can do or what I cannot do, but I take decision from the place of my vision where I want to be, despite the obstacles, I will be there. And when I look back to my life, it can look like miracles, but I was achieving every goals. Everything what I said, how I saw myself, I took bold decision. I stepped into unknown. I took all necessary steps, although it was not easy, and I was achieving my goals. Even now, we live in Brighton, and we didn't come to Brighton when we moved to UK. Initially, we came by Ukrainian scheme, and we had to find sponsors. And as my daughter was doing horse sport, she has horse in Ukraine, and I wanted her to continue, of course. So I was looking for her to live in a place where she can do horse sport. And it happened, and we found sponsor in a very rural area. It is just area when we came, we said, where are we now? We were just in the middle of forest farms, very unusual way for us to live. And that time I made decision where I want to live. And I went to London, I went to Brighton, and I liked Brighton so much. So I made decision that we are going to live in Brighton. And it was not easy because it was different areas, um, different organizations related. So we were told that we cannot move to Brighton because of this scheme which we came with. We have to stay in that region. And I decided that we will live in Brighton. And we even decided exactly house which we want to have. Like my mother wanted to have house with a garden. My daughter wanted to have a penthouse, like two layers of house. And I wanted to live near the sea. And now we live exactly in the same house. Like it is two floors, garden near the sea, just 3 minutes walk in the center, everything very close. So it is sometimes I'm so much amazed like how this exactly happens, that even small things come together. Yes, and of course I'm not surprised because I know that it is all works according to the laws. Yes, so when we know how, first, of course, what we want. Yes, it is important to know what exactly you want, what you want in certain situation, what you want from life. And then you know how to use your high mental faculties, such as imagination, yeah, perception, also intuition. And when you practice these high mental faculties, you have access to that workshop, which is your subconscious mind, where you create your results. And then you just see how everything what you want just become manifested in your physical world.
I love that. I'm glad you said that word manifest because that's I'm getting a lot of that with what you just shared, especially about the home where you guys are living right now. Um, that so much of what you were able to create out of some pretty gnarly circumstances, but what you were able to create out of that is showing up, exactly, where your daughter, and your mother are living now. So, um, yeah, you know manifesting, and so much of manifesting, you can speak on this a lot better than I can, but so much of manifesting is about having the right mindset to keep making those positive choices, to keep making those powerful choices that lead to the results that you're looking for. So I'd love for you to speak on that a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Manifesting is creating your ideal, means that something big which you desire, initially creating the clear picture in your mind, and impress it into your subconscious mind through repetition. It means that we have conscious and subconscious mind, and subconscious mind is the part of our mind which makes things happen. But in order to make it work in your favor, you have to impress that image to it through repetition so it accepts it as reality. And subconscious mind doesn't see the difference between imagined and real. So when we are obsessed with an idea, when we really want what we want and we don't accept anything less than that, it is very important. And it needs belief, Yes, it needs belief in yourself. You should know that this is what you want already exists and this is already yours. Yes, so you, instead of just wishing, hoping, yes, like I wish that, I hope that, it it is not. It doesn't work. Just wish and hope doesn't work. You have to be confident. You have to demand this from universe, and it is already yours. You should know why you want that, and you have be in that state that it is there already, and you just take steps which will take to get there. Because of course, if I would just sit in the sofa in that rural area and do nothing, just meditating all days, nothing would happen. I took actions. I was going to Brighton every week. I was looking for houses, although I was living uh, 35 miles away, and I think about 50 kilometers away. But I was coming Brighton by car every week, and I was imagining that I live here. I found dance club where I dance regularly. I love bachata, salsa. So I started dancing, coming for dancing. I found that in order to rent house, I have to have official job. So I found temporary job just in for this reason, to have status that people would love to rent their house to me. Yes, to have that they see that my official status here. So I found a temporary job, although I was not even living here. So then I started working again before we even moved. So I found temporary place where I stayed when I was working a few days a week. And this is the steps which I took. Yes, so this comes together with understanding how it works, that it is combined your mindset, that you aim and you know exactly what you want, and you believe and have faith that if you do the necessary steps, you will get what you desire. And the second part, of course, you get the idea and you implement that idea straight away. Because when you set a big goal, you will not know how to achieve it. In our situation, it was no way. Some people would say there is no way, because you have to be officially employed, you have to be official company showing your income. But when you just come in a new country, of course you don't have any record. You cannot show any your income in this country, which is required. You don't have references from landlords who you rented before. This is another thing which we didn't have. So we didn't have anything. And also that organizations which we were related to, it was in different area, and they said that they can support us if we want to stay in that scheme. We can only stay in that region. It means that I had to cut that and say that I want to be free. I don't need your support, and I'm going just to unknown, and I want to live where I want to live. Having
Right.
nothing, having nothing visual, yes. But again, if you make decision and if you develop your high mental faculties, you start listening your intuition, and your intuition will give you ideas. It will guide you. But the rule here is that you have to take that idea and act on it. Not just you get idea and think, oh, can I do this or no? No, it doesn't work. You have idea, you work on it, then when you implement first idea, another idea comes. And this is how you feel like you are guided by the invisible hand, and you get what you wanted results. But you have to act, you have to implement on those ideas and believe that this is possible. You have no doubts, you know this is already waiting for you, and you will get exactly what you want.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, I just got chills when, when you were sharing that, because so much, like, I feel like, just speaking personally here, just, getting vulnerable here, so much of my life has been ran rather, by self-doubt and by fear. And, as I'm building my business, as I'm building relationships, as I'm building a new life up here, um, I'm finding that people will come into your life who can help you with that, who can help you see your vision better than you might be able to see yourself. I'm actually talking to somebody who, right now, who is helping me see my vision better than what I can see myself. So there's a lot of trust out there. There's a lot of intuition out there. And there's also a lot of just being bold and taking the chance and, taking those risks. And I think you're a prime example of that.
Yes, thank you. And I say that it is not always easy, especially when it comes not only about you, when your decision takes not about you into consideration, but in my case, I was with my mother who was 85 and my daughter who was 14. So to make decision to move my mother from Ukraine, it was very, very serious decision because she has high hypertension, and I took decision for her. I convinced her that everything will be good because she didn't want to go. She said, I cannot, I will not get there alive. And I said, everything will be good, let's go. And I arranged everything. But when we were on the way, she fainted 2 times. 2 times she lost her consciousness, and we called ambulance. And it was really scaring seeing her unconscious and knowing that I made decision to move her. Yes, and it really took courage to continue. And we reached the place when she didn't feel well. She was really very weak after fainting 2 times, and it was a long journey, but we did this. So now she's happy. She lives in a beautiful house, exactly how she wants. She is happy, grateful. So when I look back, I know that it was the only right decision which I made. But if we go that place where I was, it was really very, very decisive action from me. And I had to be very firm, confident, and take decision for him. Yes, and it was very risky. Yeah, in her situation, it was risky. But if we didn't do that, I think now it would be more risky.
Yeah, yeah, just kind of living, I guess living that with that regret, just knowing that you could have made that choice, you could have made that decision, and you never made that decision. It's something you would have to live with every time your head hits the pillow at night.
Exactly. And also, it was not only going somewhere, because when we left Ukraine, we went to Austria, and my friends offered us, they had spare apartment in the center of Vienna. And it was 4 rooms apartment, fully furnished, very beautiful place. But for me, I didn't see myself in Vienna because mostly there was German language which I didn't know. And I saw myself in England. I thought if I want to go somewhere, I want to be in England. I want to do events. I want to speak on stages. I want to do my practices and working with clients. I want to have access to international communities in London. So this vision which I created for myself. And although it was so comfortable and convenient to live in Vienna, and many people want to go there and live there and dream about that, I didn't stop there. And again, I took that risk and moved my family again to UK when UK opened this Ukrainian scheme and we could apply for visas.
Okay.
So I took decision twice, and now everyone is happy. Everyone understands that where we are now, English speaking country, opportunities which are here for my daughter as well, who knew English at the time, is much more bigger here than if we stayed in Austria.
I can certainly see why. And I think that really leads beautifully to a new project that you've just released, is that you've become a published author for the first time here very recently, my dear. Talk a little bit about your new ebook, which is available on Amazon, and I will include a link to the ebook in the show notes here. But talk a little about the talk a little about inner alchemy, the introduction to the 6D method.
Inner Alchemy is series of the books which I want to write about different topics. And the first one is Introduction to the 6D method. What is 6D method? I discovered the formula which has 6 components. And these components are the steps for business owners and entrepreneurs to achieve their audacious goals. So this related to my mentorship program, which is called the 6D method. 6D method, 6 steps formula for driven business owners and entrepreneurs to set and achieve audacious goals. So basically what we do, we take them from their desire, from desire to destiny. 6 steps which they go through to set their mind the way that their thoughts, their feelings, their actions will be aligned with those big goals when they learn how to use their high mental faculties, which we mentioned today, when they learn how to make decisions, how to close knowing doing gap, how to start doing things which are aligned with the goals, how to discover that potential which is not everyone has, but not many people even know about that, how to become great leaders, how to communicate the way that to leave people with the impression of increase. So all this important knowledge I put in this 6D formula, which will help every business owner entrepreneur to achieve their big goals.
I love that. And it's the first in several books that you're looking to create. And in full disclosure, I've been partnering with you on helping you to create these books.
Yeah, so the next book will be about the 6D formula, which will be about all the steps. And then after this, I want to write each book about each step. For example, each book will be about desire. Like one book will be about desire, the next book will be about decision. Yes, about decision, go deeply, then about discipline, then about discover, and then about design. Discover means to discover yourself and that potential which you have, and this design is about designing your new identity, because in order to have new reality you have to create new personality. So design is about designing your self-image, to creating the script of your new self, of that person who already achieved that big goal, and thinking, feeling, and acting as it is already achieved. How you would think, how you will feel, and how you will act if you would be already that person who has that goal as achieved.
Yeah, that's almost a biblical principle if you think about it. Act as if ye has faith, and faith shall be given to you.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, yes. I'm very fond of Bible. I also study the Bible thoroughly. And my next podcast, which I want to also start maybe in 1 year, it will be called Mindset Through the Bible.
That would be quite fascinating, and I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah, I will definitely let you know when it is ready to be started. Yeah, because I do now podcast which is called Mindset to Results, and we got more than 100 episodes recorded just within last 6 months, and 300,000 views on YouTube. So it is really a very time time dedicating activity. But I definitely want to launch another podcast to help people to understand that all this knowledge which we learn from the legends, from the best achievers here, the highly efficient, successful people, all these principles are written in the Bible. All the laws, all the principles are written in the Bible, and it's such a profound book that I really want to encourage people to study through my podcast.
Got that, and definitely should be fascinating. And as a previous guest on Mindset to Results podcast, I certainly certainly see that there's, that you have had conversations with a lot of real, like, powerful thought leaders in the world, in personal development and storytelling, just a lot of powerful people that you have spoken with on this podcast, and it's changing a lot of lives.
Yeah, definitely. I would recommend everyone to jump on that podcast because we have so many golden nuggets, and every episode which we record, I just say listen to this episode just many times because there is so much wisdom, experience, and people share their stories, their knowledge, which they gained through years. And you can get everything just within 30, 40 minutes listening one episode.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Elena, we're just about out of time. One last question that I do want to ask you is, if somebody is watching, somebody is listening to this episode, and they're facing a they're facing a pretty significant choice in their life. They're facing a pretty significant decision in their life, and they feel some self-doubt starting to creep in. Um, do you have any words? Do you have any advice that you may want to give to people who are looking at those, like, heavy decisions, about their lives, about the future of their lives, kind of staring them in the face?
Yes, of course, definitely. If you have challenge, embrace that challenge and see why this challenge is given to you and what you can learn, how you can grow from it, and be grateful for this challenge. Because when we are in that mid of the challenge, we can think that it is so bad that situation happened. It is so challenging. It is so I can have fear. I can have doubt. I don't know what is going on. What will awaiting me tomorrow. But you can also shift your perception, totally shift your perception, and can be grateful. Still find what you're grateful for, right? In every challenge, you still have so many reasons to be grateful for. So, first of all, take yourself from that state of being scared or having doubt, put yourself in the state of gratefulness. Yes, so just when you start thinking about what you're grateful for, whatever situation is looks like, you will change your frequency, you will change your state, and then from when you start feeling grateful, yes, you cannot be fearful, you cannot be angry, you cannot be scared, because it is opposites, right? Like gratefulness is opposite of fear or doubt. So first, focus your mind to write reasons what you're grateful, and just feel that gratefulness. Yes, so get yourself out of all those negative emotions. And second, what you do, focus on your big goal. Just think, okay, this situation happened. What I want. Just think about what you want, how you see yourself. For example, when the war started in Ukraine, I thought, okay, this happened. What I want for myself. And I said, I want to go England. I want to speak in stages. I want to in London. I want to attend networks event in London, like in big cities in UK. And okay, what I can do there? What I can do to get there? Okay, what is my step I can do? I can look if we can get visas. And even when I was thinking there, that time England even didn't open visas, so we applied first for Scotland. I said, okay, to go to UK, Scotland opened visas. So I said, okay, we go Scotland. And when we applied visas for Scotland, then UK also opened visas. So we applied for UK. So it is just, instead of being scared and thinking about the situation today, project your mind for the future that you want and start focusing on what you want, what you desire. And then think about one step that you can take today. Yes, so this way you will start focusing on the things which you want. Just focus things which you want instead of thinking about what you don't want. And remember that you always have choice what to think about. This energy which we receive every day, which go into us and through us, it is neutral. It is the same energy going through you. Yes, and by choosing thoughts, you give this energy the form, physical form. So think about what you want. So that will manifest in your life instead of what you don't want. Because if you start thinking what you're fearful about, what you have doubts, this is what you will start to attract. You will start attracting more occasions and situations which will cause more fear and doubt. So control your thoughts, be aware of those thoughts which you have every day, and don't allow them to make decisions for you. Always take decisions from the place of empowerment. Just see yourself as you want to see, where you want to be, with whom you want to be, what you want to do, and take decisions as it is already there waiting for you. So when you take decision from the place, you will feel better, you will feel excited, because you will know that you will get there, and you just take first step. Always remember that you have idea, act on it immediately. Yes, make decisions from where you are now, what you have, but move forward. If you make one step, you will make another step, and another step will be revealed to you when you take first step. If you don't take first step, you will never what will be second step. So don't think about all the journey. As I said, I didn't know how I will get to UK, but when I did first step, then I did second step, it came. So exactly, you take first step, see already as it is done, have faith in God, believe in yourself, take steps, and get what you want. You will see how it works. You will be surprised by the way how it will become reality.
I love that. I love that. Elena, thank you so much for this powerful conversation. I learned about a lot about you, about your story, but also I think a lot about how I can start being more decisive in my own life. And thank you so much for this. And how can people find you online, Elena? How can people connect with you?
Yes, people can connect on our website, that is mindset number two results.com, mindset2results.com. Or also I have LinkedIn, it is Elena Apalkova, or Facebook Elena Apalkova, or Instagram. So anyway, or of course YouTube, YouTube is Mindset to Results, so Elena Apalkova, which we encourage everyone to subscribe to listen this amazing guest which we have, because there is so much knowledge and wisdom which everyone can benefit so much from those episodes.
Cool. And I will include links to all of that in the show notes below. Thank you so much for getting solar powered with us today, Elena.
You are most welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It was my pleasure.
My pleasure. And thank you for listening to the Solar Powered Podcast, a presentation of Royal Hearts Media. For more information about me, just go to royalheartsmedia.com. You can follow me on the social media machine at Ryan Hall Writes on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or just shoot me a good old fashioned email at ryan.hall@royalheartsmedia.com. But that'll do it for this episode. Until we meet again, this is Ryan Hall saying thanks for listening. So long for now, and go get solar power. Take care.